Welcome, everybody, to Riverside Park in Oakmont, the scene of this afternoon's battle between the Rockets of Jefferson Morgan and the undefeated Raiders of Riverview High School. Today by Integra Banks, where you can get the loans you need for times like these. And for times like these, good to be around as the Raiders try to make it 11-0 for the 1994 campaign. So it's playoff time at Riverside Park.
One of our local teams won last night. The other one lost. Of course, I'm speaking of Hampton. They got beat. Borough won. They did it quite easily, to be honest with you. And this afternoon, probably the team that many of the experts figure to go further than any of the others in their classification are the Raiders of Riverview. And 7-3 overall in the season. And of course, the Raiders undefeated with a record of 10-0.
Let's take a look at our Eastern A Conference title holders as they 7-0 in the section and 10-0 overall, coached by Jake Kappa. By the way, if they win, the Raiders, who are favored today,
They're fired up, Bob, I would say.
If the Raiders win today, they will covered before, and they beat them both, either Greensburg Central or Rochester. And of course, Greensburg is going in as the second-place team from this section, and Rochester winning theirs. Let's take a look at what the Raiders did this year. As you see, they've been able to handle Monaca, Rochester, Carmichael, Duquesne, Wilkinsburg, and Clairton. You take a look at the shutouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they've only allowed their opponents 68 points in all 10 games. That's less than a touchdown a game.
That's it.
Yeah, so and Jefferson Morgan, a team that went 7-3 on the year, they are the second-place team from South section, which was won, by the way, by Monessen. And you look at what they went through this year. We highlighted their losses in yellow. They were losers to Chartiers Houston in the exhibition season, and then to Monessen and Fort Cherry later on. So they've had 2 3-game winning streaks. We're looking for a decent battle from this ball club, Joe, but I think Riverview is a little bit too strong for them.
Well, let's hope your opinion of the situation, Bob, is accurate. Meantime, the officials of today's game, the referee is Denny Mater. The umpire is Ray Damey. And judge Damian Zarisco. The field judge, George Secker. And the back judge is Jim DeStout.
And we've had the toss of the coin. And Jefferson Morgan have won the toss. They have elected to receive. And goal to our right. We'll be back with the opening kickoff after this. Right. And we'll pass along those starting lineups as they approach the line of scrimmage. Riverview still huddled along the near sideline by head coach Jake Kappa. He recognizes the importance of high school athletics. Frank would like to congratulate the Riverview Raiders on a perfect football season and wish them luck in postseason play. Also, Frank Dermody would like to thank his many supporters in the area during this past election. State Representative Frank Dermody, proud of this event. Christian McDaniel, along with Mike McCourt, are deep, and Belisario, of course, teeing up the football. He wears number 21. Orlando Belisario to kick off. And the kick is high. It will be fielded at about the 16-yard line and returned up the middle of the field. And breaking through momentarily on the run back was Christian McDaniel, who is by Ben Ertlejack. And they'll set up shop as we get started here. Very quickly, Jefferson Morgan's offense. The quarterback, Wetzel. The running backs are McDaniel, McCourt, and Lockett. And we'll get the balance of up the Raider defense after this play. So running out of the Beer offense, and it goes up the middle, and only a couple of yards on the play. Carrying the football, by the way, was different number in there. Jason Kappa, along with Rich Walsh. Riverview's defense: Zrimsik, Walsh, Dujak, Gilbert, Kappa, and Flaherty. And in the secondary, Kappa, the two Belisarios, Dapra, and Graham. That first play, Neroni goes in motion. Now they are left with two setbacks, and they're going off the left side and breaking through for the first down is Mike McCourt, tackled, by the way, by Charles Belisario in Raider territory at the 48. McCourt on the year with 1,108 yards. He averaged 6.1 per carry and scored 13 touchdowns along the way. So he should be the man that they're going to most of today. And again, the quarterback is Scott Wetzel. And a man in motion. He's going to look to throw. Fires a little screen on the left side. They'll pick up the first down, and across the way, the play culminates after the pass catch by Xavier Lockett. Zach Zrimsik makes the by Jefferson Morgan at the Raider 36 or 37. So this drive started, by the way, at the 37-yard line of Jefferson Morgan. The Raider defense, who's allowed less than 7 points a game on average, got to make a couple of adjustments here. Here's Wetzel. And up the middle, off the left side, actually. The ball carrier is Mike McCourt. McCourt's down to about the 24-yard line. Rich Walsh and Graham Belisario, and another first down. So they pick up, I believe, 13 yards on that play.
Well, they're getting awfully good blocking up front there. Well, the last three plays, huge holes, Bob, that you and I could have run through.
Wetzel over center. Takes the snap and hands off. With the football is Lockett. Lockett is going to be brought down by Zrimsik on the far side of the field. And the ball is spotted. Let's see where they've got it, Joe. The 18.
Is that about the 17? 8, it looks
Make
like
it the 17.
Right.
And they've only got to get to the 15-yard line. So second down and 8 coming up. This has been a sustained drive by a good-looking Jefferson Morgan offense here in the first set of downs. Second down, let's call it 3. Once again, Wetzel checks over the Raider defense. And hands off to Keith Neroni. And Justin Graham meets him, but a first down for Jefferson Morgan. The 15. And they'll spot this one at about the 12-yard line.
Well, they're on about a 52-yard drive right now, Bub. 11 more, and they'll be into the end zone.
3 consecutive first downs on this drive. Or 3 success. Here's a give. Popping up the middle is McCourt, and McCourt is down close to the 5-yard line. Kappa is there. And Jason on the play. The ball is spotted at the 4-yard line. Second down and about 2. You wonder just how efficient this offense has been here, Joe, in the early going, and what the Raiders are going to have to do to it.
We saw earlier on some of their opponents, they have scored some points.
Here is Wetzel, and Wetzel gives, I believe, to Neroni, and Neroni battles close.
By number 18, Zach Zrimsik.
Zrimsik on the tackle on Neroni.
First down.
McCourt, who carried. One's 24 and the other's 34, and I didn't pick up the first digit on that carry. So they're down to the 2-yard line, and it is first and goal.
First down and goal. On the 2.
Wetzel over center. And Wetzel kept the football, was driven back by Orlando Belisario. So also on the play was Jeremy Ducek.
Might have lost about a half a yard there, Bob.
It is now second and goal back at the maybe the 2.5-yard line, as Joe had indicated, about a half a yard loss on the play. The center, Roger Lawrence, is a pretty big boy. Of the way here as Wetzel takes the snap, hands off, and they didn't make it there either.
Graham.
It's McCourt hit by Justin Graham. Third down, goal to go from about the 1-yard line. And they have eaten up quite a bit of the first quarter clock. What? 6.5?
6:30 right now.
Once again, Wetzel lines up over center. He'll keep the football, go around the left side, and he's not going to make it. It'll be fourth down coming up. Good pursuit laterally by... And it'll be fourth and goal to go. Back at the 4, so they had to lose about 3 yards on that play.
Do they have a kicker over there, Bob? I don't see anything any different.
They're sure taking their time on the play.
And these guys are too big to be kickers.
Brian Bain, number 2, has checked into the play. And he'll line up as a right end. No, he's a slot or a wing to the right. From the 4.
Whistle.
And
delay from the 9-yard line, and now we may see the kicker coming on.
They probably don't have any, Bob. They'd have taken a shot at the 3 on the previous play.
Delay of game is the call.
Boy, this would give the Raiders an awfully big lift if they could hold here. First and goal inside.
Riverview and Jefferson Morgan. No score, first quarter. Jefferson Morgan has held the football from the start of the game. They're going to go now with the first and goal. They're going to pass the football. It is caught on the left side and in for the touchdown. No, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. The ball was caught by Nathan Hassett. He did not get it, and the Raiders will take over
at the
1-yard line. We have a break in the action. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti here at Riverside Park. We'll be right back. So the Raiders with the football, first and 10, up the middle. Here with the football is, I believe it's Dacra. Steve Dacra is up to about the 16-yard line, a 15-yard gain on that carry to get the Raiders off.
The guy that really made that big play, Bob, to stop that touchdown, what looked like an apparent touchdown, was Zach Zrimzek. He made the stop at the 1-yard line, and now the Raiders get out of trouble. They have it at the 16.
Kappa, Erdeljak, Dapra, Graham, the other Kappa, and Belisario. And we'll pick up the balance here momentarily. Here is a first and 10 with Kappa keeping the football. Kappa wrestled to the ground by Christian McDaniel on the right side, but he did pick up a few yards to the 21 or 22-yard line. The balance of the Raiders offense, the interior line, Papa, Vaqueris, Flaherty, Welsh, and Dujak. And we'll catch the defense here for Jefferson Morgan after the next play. A gain of 6 at his second down and 4. Tackler on that play, by the way, turns out to be Neroni. Keith Neroni, number 34. And they pick up a couple of more yards to make it now 3rd and 2 near the 24-yard line. Here's the defense for Jefferson Morgan. Sisler, Neroni, and Hassett. In the secondary, McCourt, Jason and John Teagarden, Lockett and Bain. With the football is Rimsack, and Rimsack is up across the 33, and the Raiders start to click off some yardage.
This would be nice for the Raiders if they could go all the way. It would be a 99-yard drive as they held Jefferson Morgan on the 1-yard line, and the defensive play of the game so far has to go to Zach Rimsack, who made the stop at the 1 when it looked as though it was Morgan.
By the way, halftime statistics will be sent your way courtesy of Billy B's in Creighton. Here we go. Strong side right. Kappa looking to throw. Fires over the middle and just off the fingertips of Ben Erteljack. Erteljack was out near the 50-yard line when that ball was just off the fingertips, and Mark
Bonarotti. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Bob. It's over here.
Was there defensively.
Right. I was looking at the wrong chart.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Raiders at their own 33. No score in the ball game. We're late in the first quarter. About 3 minutes left on the clock. Kappa hands off. He gives to Dapra. Dapra play by Wes Zollers. And he will lose about a yard to the 32. 3rd and 11 coming up.
Right there is a loss on the play. So that's
3rd and 11 from the Raider 32.
ball under 32.
Jake Kappa on the near sideline here, right below our press box. All kinds of media. Kappa looks to throw on 3rd and 11. He fires incomplete, intended for his brother, Jason Kappa. And so the Raiders will have to punt it away on 4th and 11 from their own 32. About 2:28 remaining in this opening quarter.
The Rockets.
Lockett, number 31, and McCourt, number 24, are back for the punt. Lockett to the near side, McCourt to the right. High snap, controlled nicely, and the punt is away. It will bounce and take a Raider roll. Picked up by Lockett at the 35. Running to his right, gives ground. Missed by Dapra. Circling around the left side, slowed up a little bit, and then dropped on the far side by Dujak. Dujak brings him down at about the 42, a 7-yard return. Orlando Belisario was also there for that defensive play. Bob Tannen with Joe Falk will continue in just a moment.
The Riverview Raiders have accomplished what very few other high school football teams have duplicated, a perfect 10-0 regular season. It's been a great season for head coach Jay Kappa and his Raiders. Sachs and Associates of Verona recognizes the tremendous effort put forth by Riverview in achieving a perfect season so far. Best wishes to the team and congratulations from Sachs and Associates, Verona.
All right, come on defense is the call for the Raiders. And right now, Jefferson Morgan with the football. 1st down and 10. Wetzel at quarterback. And he hands off the football to McCourt. And McCourt up near midfield, tackled. Number 70 on the play was Jeremy Dujak. They pick up about 7 yards to the 48-yard line to make that a 2nd, and it looks like a long 3. At the 48. And it goes to McDaniel off the left side. He is hit near the 50-yard line. And Theo Ficaris defensively for the Raiders. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. So they pick up about a yard on that play. First quarter coming to a near end here. And there is no score in the ball game.
About a minute 10 remaining here in the first quarter. We're scoreless, as Bob just mentioned. Great defensive stand by the Raiders a little bit ago. 1st and goal for Jefferson Morgan at the 1, and they got stopped.
Man in motion is Neroni. It goes back to McCourt. McCourt chased. and is going to be knocked out of bounds by Justin Graham. But he did pick up the first down at the Raider 45-yard line. And for Jefferson Morgan, 6 first downs. Clock stops on the out-of-bounds play. 45-yard line of Riverview is where the football is right now. Here is a give. Up with a football. McDaniel brought down by Belisario. Also is Ertlejack. And they pick up sizable yardage there. It could be a first down. It should be a first down at the 35. And they're going to bring the chains across to measure on this play. You would think that it would be a first down.
The ball is touching the white line. The stick is not quite at the white line. So why the measurement, I don't know. We'll find out in a second as they'll make it official. Would you believe that it is short? Maybe that's the reason, because the guy with the stick didn't have it where he should have been in the first place.
About 3 inches is the call here, so it's second down in inches.
They're still checking it, but it's not a first down. It's about an inch or two away.
This is one of those free downs where everybody expects the run, but you can come up with a pass play. You can do just about anything.
It's amazing how easily they're picking up yardage, Bob, but when they get down to the 1-yard line earlier, they had 4 downs to make it, and they didn't.
Fourth and, well, let's see, they had first and goal at about the 2-yard line, and it ended up with a 4th and 9, thanks to a penalty, as well as a couple of great defensive plays by the Raiders. So it's 3rd and inches near the 35-yard line of Riverview. Here's Wetzel over center. Wetzel gives to McCourt. McCourt's got the first down and more, and he may go. McCourt is into the end zone for Jefferson Morgan, and it is a 6-0 game on that play. So Jefferson Morgan converts on a 35-yard touchdown run by McCourt. That is his 14th touchdown of the year.
Mike Kubik to attempt the point after.
Mike Kubik attempting the point after. Low snap from center, and the Raiders charge through, but the kick is good. It is a 7-0 game. Jefferson Morgan in the lead with very little to play in the opening quarter.
10 seconds to be exact.
And the winner of this ball game will battle either Greensburg Central Catholic, which is the second-place team from the Eastern Conference, or the other end of the coin,
Ladies and gentlemen, anyone leaving the premises of
Rochester.
Yeah, it's either Rochester or Greensburg Central.
Trying to think of it.
I'm a little bit surprised, Bob. It looked like Kubik looks as though he has a pretty good toe there. And I'm wondering why they sacrificed the field goal attempt earlier when they had an opportunity to get some points.
Well, this is the first time that they will be kicking off to the Raiders. Riverview had the ball one time in the first period in this first quarter and wound up punting on 4th and 11 or 4th and 12. And it was on that following possession by Jefferson Morgan that they scored. So the Raiders have Daper down the middle, Tamburo to the right, Ertlejack to the far side. And here is the kick. Short. And the Raiders make the recovery at about the 42-yard line.
Heads up over there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it was.
Heads up.
88's not on the roster.
Not even on the roster. Well, let's see if we got him over here on the other side.
Check his eligibility.
Who is that?
Even the PA announcer doesn't. That's Bruce.
Well, evidently, Bob, I think it might have been Charles Belisario, who wears number 85. But
by the way, McCourt went 86 yards in 8 carries on 8 plays, I should say, for the touchdown. Okay, we have come to the end of the first quarter. It is a 7-0 game by Jefferson Morgan. Bob Cattern with Joe Falsetti here at Riverside Park. And we'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Ready to go now for the second quarter, and the Raiders, for the second time in the game, will have the football, Joe.
All right, Bob, a little bit of a surprise here early in the ball game. First quarter score is 7-0 in favor of Jefferson Morgan, and the Raiders will have the football at their own 41-yard line. All right, Kappa has them ready. Jeff Kappa hands off to Dapra. He is going to be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Going to be no gain there as big number 75, John Sisler, made the first hit for Jefferson Morgan. They may have lost a yard or two. They did. So it'll be second down and about, well, let's call it 12. Second and 12. And a big crowd here at Riverside Park in Oakmont as the Raiders fall behind early. Here's Dapra. He gets a couple of yards on that carry. Going to bring up a third and long as Keith Neroni made the stop. They get about a yard or two beyond the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be third down and 8. Third and 8. The ball at the 40, make it the 44-yard line. Coming into the lineup is Justin Graham with a play from the bench. They do that virtually on every play. So Graham is the up front in the eye at Dapra. The tailback. Here's Jeff Kappa looking, and throws, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Jefferson Morgan, and that is Brian Bain who made the interception. Kappa had a man out there, but overthrew him just a little bit. Then it was intercepted, and the Jefferson Morgan gang has the ball at their own 38-yard line. So leading 7-0, making an interception, and it's going to be Jefferson Morgan now as they go to it, as the Rockets have the football and the lead. Wetzel hands off, and right up through the center of the line, they get stuffed there as McCourt gets hit by number 30, Justin Graham, but there's a flag on the play. I think maybe that's a hold. When that flag is thrown right into the middle of the action there, and that's what it's going to be, a holding call against Jefferson Morgan. So they'll march off the penalty here. It'll be a big one. And they'll spot the football just close to the 30-yard line, so it'll be second down and 20. Or I should say first and 20. So Jefferson Morgan in possession following the interception. And they have the lead here as we have just started the second quarter. Wetzel looks, throws, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for McDaniel, but it's incomplete. Coverage over there by Ben Ertlejack. Second down and 20. Well, it's actually closer to 19 or 18, somewhere in that area. So they're standing all around here at Riverside Park. The end zones, both sides, standing room only, and that is playoff atmosphere, my friends, when you get to this time of the year. Generally you'll have this kind of a turnout no matter who is playing. Wetzel hands off on the reverse and going around getting good yardage, turning the corner and still going and getting close to the first down was Mike McCourt. Boy, Dapra finally had to make the stop, and he is going to be awfully close to the first down. I think they're going to be about a yard short. So that was a gain of about 17 yards on that carry. My goodness. So it'll be third down and about 1. So a big run that time for Mike McCourt. And what made that play, Bob, was he was able to turn that corner. He's got some speed. 3rd and 1. Ball at the 48-yard line. Jefferson Morgan's 48. Wetzel hands off. They got the first down as Gilbert made the stop. But McCourt picked up a couple of yards. He only needed 1. So they've got another first down near the 50-yard line. Tell you what, this doesn't look like a 7-3 team, Bob. No way. Ready to go once again. Wetzel on the reverse. And big number 85 on the carry. He's going to be hit over there as number 52, Walsh, I believe. Yes, Rick Walsh made the stop on Nathan Hassett, who took that one on the reverse and picked up almost 5 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and a long 5. Clock moving. We're inside. 8.5 minutes remaining here as Jefferson Morgan is out front 7-0. Wetzel once again marking signals. Powerhouse high, and here's the handoff, and again McCourt gets a pretty decent yardage. Stopped, I believe, by number 85. That was Jason Kappa, and Zach Zrinzak also helping out. So it'll be 3rd down and about a yard. 3rd and 1. The ball just outside the 41-yard line. So Jefferson Morgan here, a bit of a surprise early in the game. They lead 7-0, and they're on the drive now that could put them up by 2 touchdowns. Wetzel pitches back and getting the first down. Boy, McCourt one more time, stopped by Zrinzak. Erdeljack also helping out, but they have another first down at the 35-yard line, just inside the 35.
Here's the first down. Ball on the 35.
So, 1st and 10. The Rockets in possession of the football at the Raiders 35. They send the man in motion. Wetzel hands off, and he is going to be gang tackled just as he crossed the 35 to about the 33-yard line. Duchak at the bottom of that stack. Also there was big number 74, Pappas, and it's McDaniel on the carry for a couple. 2nd down and 8. 6:40 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Ready to go, big number 65. Boy, is he big. Roger Lawrence. Ready to go now as Wetzel on the keeper. Fake the pitch back, but right there we'll have none of it. Was Jeff Kappa as he made the stop after a gain of about 1. So it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Not a half-yard kickoff.
3rd down and about 7.
We'll have some statistics for you at halftime, presented by Billy Bees of Creighton. Should be interesting to take a look at numbers.
Boy, that's for sure. They will be interesting, believe me. Wetzel looking, Wetzel keeping, Wetzel throwing along with, could be intercepted. It is! And it's intercepted. I believe, I thought it was in the end zone, but he got the interception way back there at the, 2-yard line? Erdeljack got the interception, and the Raiders will have the football when we come back. Don't go away. More to come. I'll tell you what, Bob, it's taken some pretty good defensive
plays here to keep the score down to 7-0. I'll tell you, this Jefferson Morgan team. Here comes Dayfra. He almost broke that one, and he got up across the 20-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Xavier Lockett saved the touchdown. That could have gone for about 98 yards. As it is, Dayfra picked up about 19. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 21-yard line.
Same scenario when the Raiders in the first quarter had their backs against the wall in the south end zone, or the north, I should say. Dayfra with big yardage.
Right, he picked up, I think, 19 on that carry. All right, here we go. Kappa, hands off. And Dayfra again. This time he is going to be stuffed after a gain of about 2. He's going to get the ball up to the 23-yard line. Nathan Hassett made the stop after a gain of, let's give him a 2-yard gain. It's going to take a long 8 yards to pick up the first down. Ball near the 23-yard line. 4:20 remaining second quarter. Jefferson Morgan 7, Riverview nothing. Bit of a surprise, but don't go away. It's got a long way to go. Kappa is ready. And here is Dayfra. Breaks one tackle, can't break the other as he crossed the 25, gets to the 26-yard line. McDaniel made the stop at the 26-yard line. A pickup of about 3 or 4 yards. That one looked like it might go, but just as Dayfra had some running room, there comes the white jerseys, and they made the stop at the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5. 3.5 minutes remaining. Jeff Kappa ready. Double setback. Kappa looking. Kappa rolls out of the pocket. Got a man out here. Almost grabbed there, but just a little bit too tall for Graham, who was open. And the pass will fall incomplete with 3:19 remaining. The Raiders will have to punt the football from their own 26-yard line. So, back to punt is Orlando Belisario standing at his own 14-yard line. There is the snap. Good kick high. Not very long, but it's high, and it's going to be still bouncing, still rolling, and it's finally going to roll dead at about the 40-yard line. And the clock is stopped with 3:06 remaining in the second quarter. Jefferson Morgan on top by a score of 7-0. Ready to go. The Rockets with the football. Wetzel back, fakes, throws long. He's got a man out there, and it's complete. And he is going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. I can't believe it.
Looking back, Joe,
85.
no flags. My, oh, my. A 60-yard pass. You can see that one unfolding. Hassett got open at about the 35-yard line, and he had to stretch out to bring it in. He did, and Jefferson Morgan gets their second touchdown. They lead 13-0 as they get set for the extra point try, with Mike Kubek getting set for the point. Snap, the kick is up. The kick is good, and the Rockets on Jefferson Morgan leading 14-0, and we'll be back right after this. Well,
Surprised, are you?
Surprise. Part of the game today, sponsored by Frank Dermody, State Representative Frank Dermody recognizing the importance of high school athletics. Frank would like to congratulate the Riverview Raiders on a perfect football season and wish them luck in postseason play, which they're going to need right now. Also, Frank Dermody would like to thank his many supporters in the area during the last election. State Representative Frank Dermody proud to assist in the sponsorship of the telecast of this event.
Rick will kick the ball for the Rockets of Jefferson Morgan.
60-yard pass play on that one to Nathan Hassett. 14-0.
All right, here we go, and it's a squibbler. It's going to be picked up by Grinzak. Grinzak, unable to turn the corner, is going to be dropped at the 25-yard line. And number 21, I think Dan Badillion was the principal tackler. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 25-yard line with 2.5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, and a little bit of a surprise so far. 14-0, Jefferson Morgan on top. And back goes Kappa. He's chased, and he's hit, and he's going to be dropped back at the 16-yard line. Oh, that's going to be a loss of about 9 or 10 yards, and the clock continues to move. A minute, 50 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Minute and a half remaining here in the second quarter. Here's a handoff. Dapra still on his feet. Still on his feet. They're having trouble getting him down. And finally, 6 of them bring him down. That's what it took, 6 of them to bring him down. Bring him down they did across the 20 at about the 21. So he'll pick up a few yards, but they had lost a chunk of them here in the first carry. So it'll bring up a 3rd down as Brian Bain made the defensive play that time for Jefferson Morgan. A minute remaining here in the second quarter. So 3rd down and about 15 yards to go. Kappa looking, Kappa throwing, and it's going to be incomplete. Pass incomplete, intended for Hurdlejack. Number 31, Lockett, was there on the coverage, so it'll bring up a 4th down with a half a minute remaining here in the second quarter. A shocker here in the first half so far. 14-0.
And Lockett back for the Rockets. For Andrew Balisario to kick the ball.
Balisario. High kick. And it takes a pretty good bounce. Rolls across the 45 to about 46-yard line. 25 seconds remaining in the first half. Well, the Raiders can hold here for the next 25 seconds, get in that dressing room and regroup. Regroup for sure for the second half. 14-0. The Rockets of Jefferson Morgan in the lead.
Scoring plays, first quarter, McCourt, 36-yard run, and then a 60-yard pass play to Nathan Hassett.
2 big plays did it. Well, let's see what they do here. They're going to try to... There's a handoff. Fumble.
Oh,
recovered. Recovered by... I think it was number 31, Lockett, that recovered.
Well, Zrimsik was close, and so was Justin Graham.
Not close enough. And the clock, I believe, is going to run out here in the half. We're down to 5 seconds. They'll never get to the line of scrimmage in time, and the half is going to end
with Jefferson Morgan on top by the score of 14-0.
And we'll be back with the Riverview Raider Band at the half and some statistics sponsored by Billy B's coming up right after this. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Justin Graham here on behalf of Riverview seniors and cheerleaders. We'd like to thank the Valley for all the support in our 10-0 season.
I'm Andy Flaherty. I want everybody to come out and support us Saturday at Riverside Park, and we're going to bring home a victory.
D-O, let's go, go! D-O, let's go! D-O, let's go, go! D-O, let's go! D-O, let's go, go! D-O, let's go!
We are at halftime, and surprisingly to the Raider fans, it's the opposition that has the lead here in the first half of play. 14-0 on touchdown scored by McCourt. That's Mike McCourt, a 36-yard run and a 60-yard pass play to Nathan Hassett. And the extra points added by the kick after each has made it a 14-0 game. Let's go down and enjoy the music of the Riverview Raider Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Riverview Raider Marching Band under the direction of Stevie Schmidt. The pom-pom captains are Mr. Mike Harris and Cameron Freeland. The twin followers are Mandy and Nathan Lewis. The side captains are Christian Richardson and Terry Upall. And the young captain is Bruce O'Taylor. The overall set today is the same size as the 120 show. This is it.
Stern along with Joe Falsetti, and assisted by Mike Pavlik on statistics here this afternoon. So it's set for the halftime stats. Brought to you by Billy B's in Creighton. You know, Billy B's offers at least 10 varieties of chicken wings, and variety doesn't stop there. Billy B's offers a large salad variety, including a delicious steak salad and an equally delicious chicken salad. Billy B's has steak hoagies and fresh broiled chicken sandwiches, a huge half-pound hamburger, and, of course, lots more. And when you stop in at Billy B's, don't be surprised if you see 30 to 40 Raiders supporters and boosters over at Billy B's cheering them on. Billy B's in Creighton, owned and operated by Riverview alumni Billy Barker. So let's take a look at the halftime numbers. Not too good for Raiders supporters. But, folks, the Raiders are giving it a try here. 3 first downs to Jefferson Morgan's 10. Only 56 yards on the ground. Jefferson Morgan with 150. 0 for 4 in the air. Jefferson Morgan, on the other hand, 3 out of 5, including a touchdown strike of 60 yards among those 79. So the net yardage, 229 for the opposition. Riverview with 56. There was one penalty in the game. That was assessed against Jefferson Morgan. And that went for 5 yards. And, of course, these all unofficial. But this is what we have up to date at this point. On an individual basis, Jefferson Morgan's Mike McCourt is running rampant. 13 carries, 119 yards. He's almost doing 10 yards a carry. Keith Neroni has 1 carry, 6 yards. Chris McDaniel, 3 carries for 12 yards. For the Raiders, Steve Dapera, 8 carries for 45 yards. Justin Graham had 1 carry for 3 yards. Zach Zrimsik, 1 carry for 9 yards. As we mentioned through the air, it's an 0 for 4 day so far for Jeffrey Kappa, so he's not completed anything. However, on the other end of the spectrum, Scott Wetzel has gone 3 out of 5, 3 pass completions. Hassett has 2 of them, 1 for 7, the other of 60 yards, and that one went for the touchdown. Xavier Lockett caught 1 for 12 yards, so that comes up with their 79 yards in the air. Jefferson Morgan, by the way, has not punted today. However, the Riverview Raiders have punted 3 times, 33, 34, and 25 yards. Statistics at the half, sponsored by Billy B's in Creighton. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti here at Riverside Park in Oakmont. We'll return with the kickoff to Riverview to start our 3rd quarter. Standing room only here. I know some of those seats across the way are empty now, but when the folks get settled after the concession stand, they'll be ready to roll for 3rd quarter action. We'll be right back. Now, welcome to second half action. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti and Mike Pavlik on stats here at Riverside Park at Oakmont. Jefferson Morgan, not a commanding lead, but they've got a 14-point lead at the half. 1 touchdown in each quarter. Mike McCourt, I should say, was it Mike? Yeah, right. Mike McCourt with a 36-yard run in the first quarter with only 10 seconds remaining, and then a 60-yard pass strike to Nathan Hassett with 2:38 to play in the second quarter. And the extra points on the kicks, both good. And it's a 14-0 game. And the winner goes on to play either Rochester or Greensburg Central next weekend. So the Raiders will receive the kickoff to start our second half, and we'll be running right to left. The uniforms of Jefferson Morgan, very reminiscent of the Cleveland Browns. That's the first impression that one gets. By the way, Joe and I and the family of Comcast, the crew here, would like to extend condolences to the Len Flowers family. Len, who for many years served as the chairman of the Oakmont Recreation Committee, and he was among the those who welcome Comcast every time we came up here to the press box, passed away last weekend. And again, we extend our sympathies to the Len Flowers family. We understand also that just a couple of days later, Len's sister had passed away. So, Joe, those kinds of friends that you make down through the years, life is short. And he's going to be sorely missed by those in Oakland. He had so much to do with his park and recreation in Oakland in general.
He was so active in just anything and everything here at the Riverview High School, and I'm sure in the Oakmont area as well. We've got to know Len for many years, and we certainly pass along our sympathy to his family.
Matthew Dick with the kickoff, and it's a short one. It's going to bounce near the 20. Tamburo at the 18, picks it up, goes right. Gets a block or two, cuts up the middle, still on his feet. He's at the 30, at the 35, and near the 40-yard line, where he stopped on the far side of the field near the hash mark over there.
That's what they needed, Bob. Maybe this will fire him up.
And I'll tell you, that play, now some other people may have just fallen on the football, but Tamburo had the good sense to pick it up and run with the football. And he, let's see, that was near the 20, so he got a 20-yard return out of it.
At least 20.
All right, now the Raiders have got to get some offense generated. They trail 14-0. It goes to Daper on the first play. He's missed on the far side, runs up the sideline, and is driven out of bounds by McDaniel.
He's going to be short of the first down, Bob. He got about 9.5 yards on that carry.
They're going to mark it near the 50, but about a half yard short on that play. So the Raiders are off and running. Dapra has picked up 9 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 1. 14-0. Jefferson Morgan. Keep in mind that when Greensburg Central was here a couple of weeks ago, the Raiders also trailed there. The pitch to Dapra, left side, first down and more. He's at the 40, down to the 38-yard line. And finally tackled by, was that Kubik? Number 52, I believe. At the 42-yard line. So in 2 successive plays, the Raiders have picked up 22 yards. 11 and 9 on one and 12 on this one. For 13 there.
Well, score here, Bob, could really tighten things up considerably.
Belisario out wide to the right, wing to the left side, and Dapra tries to look for an opening up the middle. Dapra dumped after about a yard gain on the play to the 42-yard line. Maroney was there along with Adam Held, and they'll give him a yard on the play, 2nd and 9. Jack and Belisario alternating on some plays here, and right now it's Belisario who's into the game. The pitch to Tamburo coming around the right side. Puts his head down near the 35-yard line and is brought down at about the 34. So he gained about 3 or 4 yards on that play. So Tamburo picks up a few yards and stopped by Xavier Lockett. 3rd down and 5 coming up. So another, this is not 4-down territory. So if the Raiders don't make it here, they got to punt the football.
I don't know about that, Bob.
Well, first time tonight that the Raiders have been in Jefferson Morgan territory. First time this afternoon, I should say.
They've been.
Here is Graham near the first down to about the 29-yard line. And it was Christian McDaniel who makes the play. It might be close enough for a measurement. And that's exactly what they're going to do. 9:39 to play in this period. The clock stops.
Now
the measurement.
Now it's 4-down territory for sure.
They're near the 28.5 or 29-yard line.
They're going to be a little bit short, I think. I hope I'm as wrong as I was the first time. Yep, they're
just
short.
A tad. Well, about a half yard.
Yeah, about a foot, maybe a little bit more.
Zach Zarimsic checks into the lineup for the Raiders.
Jeff Capel handled it.
Well, 3rd down and about a half yard for the Raiders near the 28-yard line is where the ball is spotted. 14-0. Jefferson Morgan in the lead. The Raiders here with possession in the 3rd quarter took the second half kickoff. and have brought it down inside the 30. Here we go. First down.
All right.
It is Dapra.
Oh, my, almost broke it. Almost broke it. Number 31 to save the touchdown ball. Lockett.
So Dapra is down to the 20-yard line. Picked up about 8 yards on that play. Abracadabra, 27. I love that one. Hang in there. Abracadabra. I got to remember that. They're at the 20. Come on, Riverview. We need 6 quick.
Score here.
Over center, Kappa back to Dapra. Dapra hit at the line of scrimmage, and I think they're beginning to key on him real quick now. On the play, number 56, Wes Zollers, the principal tackler at the 20. No gain on the play. Second and 10 for the Raiders, trailing 14-0. Over center now is Kappa. He's going to throw. He's being chased.
He's going to get around that corner. Hold on, Jeff. All right. Yeah, he got about 5 yards.
Kappa keeps on the play, tackled by Sisler. And it's marked at the 16-yard line. 3rd and about 6 after that 4-yard carry by Kappa.
We got 2 downs to get 6 yards. 8 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 14-0 in favor of Jefferson Morgan, and the Raiders are on a pretty good drive, and they can certainly make things interesting if they could take it into the end zone.
Here we go on 3rd down and 6. And looking to pass is Kappa. Throw short, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Dapra, and it was short at the 10-yard line. So it is now 4th and 6. Fourth and 6. We're in the 3rd quarter, folks. Second half has just started, and the Raiders have used about 4 minutes and 17 seconds of the clock so far. Wide to the left is Charles Belisario. The give goes to Dapra. Dapra is near the 10-yard line.
I think he's got it.
Boy, I don't know where they're going to spot this one.
It all depends where it all depends where they give him the spot.
He's going to be short. He's going to be short. That was 4th down, and I believe they're going to go the other way. So it is a takeover on downs by Jefferson Morgan. A break in the action, folks. Bob Tattern with Joe Falsetti. We're coming right back. Boy, we needed that one bad, and we came up empty. We missed it by a half yard.
Or less. How about a fumble here, Bob?
Sounds good to me. All right, first back coming across as Neroni gets up to about the 17 when his knee hit. He advanced a little bit further.
Got 7,
but
almost 7 yards. 6 anyway.
Let's give them 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4.
6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. Ball on the 17.
So from the 17, Jefferson Morgan. You can get those messed up a little bit. Here's Wetzel over center. And up near the 1st down mark, Neroni carries. Kappa was there along with Orlando Belisario and Theo Ficaris. But it is a 1st down at the 21.
It is a 1st down.
Jefferson Morgan out of the huddle on first down and 10 at their own 22-yard line. Wetzel to McCourt. McCourt off the left side. McCourt brought down near the 30-yard line. But again, ripping off sizable yardage. Theo Ficaris, Justin Graham on the tackle near the 29-yard line. So second down coming up in about 3 after the 7-yard rip-off.
They can ill afford to give them 6-7 yards on the first down carry, Bob. They'll chew up the clock as they're doing right now. We're down to about 5:45 remaining in the third quarter. And Jefferson Morgan up 14-0 in what has to be considered a surprise.
And the Raiders have not gotten any closer than the 16-yard line. Here's the pitch to McCourt. He's trying the left side, and he spilled and dropped at the 31 or 32-yard line. Nice defensive play by the Raiders, as it was Zach Zarymczyk and Orlando Belisario was also there. A short gain on the play. It is now third and about maybe. Well, I thought he was short.
So did I.
So they'll bring the sticks across and check this one out. Another first down for Jefferson Morgan. Man, oh man, they're eating up the clock.
They sure are. 5:17 and moving.
I think the second touchdown was more damaging than the first. That 60-yard pass play was...
Actually, Bob, they've gained an awful lot of yardage, but the fact of the matter is it's been 2 big plays. A 35-yard run and a 60-yard pass and run play.
Fake to McCourt. Here's the give to Neroni. Neroni is wrapped up on the play by Justin Papa. And we have an injured man on the field to play. The first injury timeout of the ball game. So we have a break in the action here as one of the men from Jefferson Morgan is on the turf injured and being attended to. We'll take a break and return here momentarily. 14-0 Jefferson Morgan. Will be right back. 14-0, and the youngster who was injured is being assisted off the field on the far side. Number 34, Neroni. So he'll be replaced in the backfield. Probably it'll be McDaniel, Lockett, and McCourt here in the backfield for the Rockets. So McDaniel is in the backfield, and
they got him that time.
They give it to McCourt, who gets up to the 35-yard line. And once again, it was Jeremy Dujak who makes the tackle for the Raiders.
Big play here, Bob. They got to get the ball.
Yeah. Third down and about 7 for the Rockets.
Third down and 6.
They need the ball, and the best way to get it is to make a stop right here. Force them to punt. Boy, this Lawrence is big, Bob. This big number 65, their center.
Yeah. And keep in mind, the Rockets have not punted all day. They're going to pass the football. And deflected, no penalty flag. There was contact made out there, either by Dafra or Belisario. So it brings up fourth down, and for the first time of the game, they will probably punt the football. Brian Bain has come into the game.
Well, whatever they have in their repertoire, Bob, they better get it out. 3:50 remaining in the third quarter, and the Raiders are down 14-0. Tamburo and Erdeljack going deep, Bob. Punt.
A timeout is going to be taken by the Rockets right here. So the Raiders are getting set here for the punt. Have Erdeljack and Tamburo back inside the 35-yard line. And I believe Bain is the punter, although we've not seen this guy at all today exercise his leg.
Well, Bob,
they just not had the punt.
I think there was like a 4-to-1 difference in yards gained in that first half. So they have totally dominated ball control here in the ball game, much less leading by 14-0. Riverview has been stunned, and I mean stunned.
Okay, it is actually Matthew Dick who is back to punt. Matthew Dick is the punter for the Rockets. Tamburo is back, along with Ertlejack. Kick is shanked off the side of his foot. It goes near midfield and is going to go out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the first break. We may need a few of them, but this is break number 1. Let's take advantage of it here.
3:41 to play, third quarter. 3:41 to play, third period. A 7-yard punt from the line of scrimmage. It's marked at the Rockets' 43-yard line. 2 setbacks for Kappa. Graham gets the call, and short yardage off the right side for about 3 yards to the 40. Boy, how close the Raiders came on the other series of downs. They were near the 15-yard line and came up just a half a yard or less short on a 4th down play that they needed to sustain the drive. 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 8. Wing to the right side, and Kappa looks to throw, has got a man open, caught by Ertlejack. Down the sideline, bumped out of bounds near the 26-yard line.
All right, plus he stopped the clock. First down, clock stopped with 2:52 left in the third quarter.
Well, they had it at the 26. It is brought back to the 29, and one of the officials apparently fooled on the play. That's the first completed pass by Kappa this afternoon. They're down to the just inside the 30, so call it the 29. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Now Dapra flanked here to the left side. And here comes the end around play. With the football is Ertlejack. Down to the 5 and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. They've got it marked at about the 2-yard line. And Ertlejack has put new life in the Raiders football team this afternoon with only 2:43 to play in the third quarter. And they are in position to take it in and bring this one. Kappa looking for an opportunity. And he's going to be dragged down. He's in for the touchdown. Just made the quarter. And the Raiders are finally on the board. Well, that only makes it 14-6. We've got to get this as a crucial play here.
Well, we got what? Balisario going in for the extra point try.
And brother Balisario holding on.
Kappa would not give up there, Bob. He was hit at about the 3.
Here's the kick. It is high, it is long, and it is good. 14-7 is the score with a minute and 54 to play here in the third quarter.
We got a ball game.
We'll be back with more action here at Riverside Park right after this. Well, this is only the second time the Raiders are going to be kicking off today. By the way, that drive, 43 yards in 5 plays. And they only ate up a minute and 41 on the clock, which is also good. So here come the Raiders. They kicked off to start the game, and now kick off for only the second time today. And Balisario with a deep kick. McDaniels at the 7 slips and almost went down. Zaremczyk hits him, spins him around, and is going to be finished off by Justin Dujak at about the 21. TJ Skillen also helping out on that defensive play. So it's marked just over the 20. And the Raiders now hoping for a break to get the ball back. We're late in the third quarter, a minute and a half remaining in this period, and the Rockets holding on to a 14-7 lead. Over center is Wetzel. Wetzel looking to throw. He throws out on the flat, and it's incomplete. If it's in, that was intended, by the way, for McDaniel. We were screened from the play, and I just wondered if he had touched the ball. Wow, dangerous play?
Well, I'll take two more like that, Bob. Not only are they incomplete, but they've stopped the clock. Second down.
Second down and 10 now for the Rockets at their own 20. Here's Wetzel again. He's running out of the eye this time. Taking a lot of time. McCourt, no, they handed off to, let's see, that was Christian McDaniel.
Right.
And he's up to the 28-yard line, hit by Justin Graham.
Big play here, Bob.
Yep. Third down and a little over 2 yards to go. Looks like about 2.5 yards. Give to Lockett. Lockett is slowed up in the backfield. Comes around the side, has the first down. He's going down the sideline with one man to beat, and he beat him. Well, Lockett is going to go all the way for the touchdown of 72 yards.
And the amazing part of it, Bob, is they looked as though they had him for a loss. Then he went to the sideline, outrun everybody, and went into the end zone for the score. Oh, about that. My goodness.
So one touchdown answered with another. 72 yards on that play for Lockett. Mike Kubik is in for the extra point.
Looks like they had him for a loss.
So it's now 20-7. Jefferson Morgan. Here's the snap of the kick. And it is good. So it's now 21-7. And could it be that the Raiders season comes to an end on a Saturday afternoon, which saw so many victories in this 1994 football campaign? Jake Kappa and his coaching staff huddled around this ball club right now, trying to get them rallied.
Well, Bob, you know, that's a sign of a good team. Whenever the opponent scores and you answer on your next possession, which is exactly what Jefferson Morgan did. They lead 21-7, and the third quarter's got 23 seconds remaining.
Well, they've all scored. McCourt, 36 yards on a run. Hassett, a 60-yard pass. Lockett on a 72-yard run. They're all long plays.
Yep.
21-7. Jefferson Morgan, second place finisher from their conference, finishing second to Menneson, who they lost to. Don't have the score handy, but here's the kick by Matthew Dick. Again, a short kick. Dapra at the 21. Brought down at the 36-yard line. And hit on the play by McDaniel. So the Raiders with a long way to go. Now let's see if we can return the favor. Raider crowd silenced to a degree here.
They may not get a playoff here, Bob.
Sevens. No, they won't. So the third quarter has come to an end. It is Jefferson Morgan 21 and Riverview 7 after 3. With the fourth quarter in a minute. Well, the team that won this conference, that Jefferson Morgan is from, and that's Menneson, are losing 21-0. So could be that the second place finisher is going to represent the conference next weekend,
Yep,
Joe.
it sure looks that way, doesn't it? And here we go. Raiders got to, well, they have to play a flawless quarter with some points on the board. Here's a draw, and draft Dapra breaks a couple of tackles, gets across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Making the stop was Brian Bain. Teagarden also there on the stop, so it'll be a gain of about 5 yards. Second down and 5, the ball at the Raiders' 41-yard line. Set to go. Jeff Kappa ready. Fake. Throwing and complete. It is a complete pass right at the 50-yard line. Maybe just a shade across the 50, but it'll be a first down for the Raiders. First and 10. Riverview. Just inside the 50-yard line, let's call it the 49 of Jefferson Morgan.
So the clock stops, by the way, in the out-of-bounds play. We needed that favor as well. Ertl Jack White left in this one, Joe.
And he's their best receiver, I think. All right, here we go. There's Kappa back. Looking. Get rid of it, Jeff. And tipped by big number 85, Nathan Haslett. So Haslett made the defensive play as Kappa, I'm sure, was looking for Ertl Jack. And just as he was ready to unload, they forced him out of the pocket. And he had to scramble and throw it to the man short, and it was incomplete. So it'll be a second down and 10. Clock stops with 11:04 remaining. Ready to go. Dapra wide to the near side. And here's Kappa. He can run it. He is going to run it. Jeff Kappa, he gets the first down across the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Jamie Teagarden made the stop. So Jeff Kappa found no one open, tucked it in, and went for 11 yards. First and 10 at the Jefferson Morgan 39-yard line.
Did not get out of bounds, by the way.
The clock is moving down to 10:50. Lone setback this time. Dapra one more time coming out wide to the near side. Here is Kappa. Looking. And down he goes at the 41-yard line. John Sisler made the defensive play. They'll lose a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 12. Second and 12. It looks as though they've discarded the running altogether here, Bob, in the fourth quarter. Plays coming in from the bench, which they usually do for the most part. Second and 12. Boy, this is the drive they've got to score. They cannot afford to give up the football without some points on the board here. It's got to be a touchdown, really. There's Dapra. No, that's not Dapra. That's number 30. That's Justin Graham. He gets about 4 or 5 yards. Jamie Teagarden made the stop at about the 37-yard line. It's going to be third down and about 8 or 9, and they're going to have to go 4 downs here, Bob. They cannot give up the football. Well, everybody's here that was here at the start of the game. No one's leaving. Why would you? All right, Jeff Kappa ready.
Kappa looking, Chappa. He's got the man out there and almost caught. In fact, Ertlejack played that one as though he was a defender. He knew it was going to be intercepted, so he just knocked the pass down. It falls incomplete, so now it's 4th down. So it'll be a 4th down, and I think they're going for it. They're coming out in running formation. They'll probably throw the ball here. Here's Kappa looking, and it's... Oh, what a play! Dapra! Well, what a pass. Oh, brother. Well, that's the old Miami play.
Oh, the hook and ladder is what they call it.
The Dolphins used that a few years ago to win a ball game. Dapra was run out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. It stops the clock. 9 minutes remaining. 9:07 to be exact. Well, the old hook and ladder worked that time. Not for a touchdown, but it worked. It got a 1st down on a 4th and 8. So here we go. 9:07 remaining. Kappa at the Jefferson Morgan 19. Here's a pitch back to Dapra. Dapra cuts in, still going. Still going. He's going to go inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line. Mike McCourt made the stop, and they'll spot it at the 11-yard line. It's going to be about 2 yards short of the 1st down.
Out the 11, so we'll say...
2nd down, and about 2.
The yardage markers on the clock are not working, so you may ignore them.
2nd down, 2 yards to go. Near the 11-yard line. Kappa marking signals. Kappa rolling, looking, throwing into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! And it went to, well, that was a brother at that time. Jeff Kappa to his twin brother Jason. And we've got a ball game with over 8 minutes remaining. What are they going to do? 1 or 2? They're talking. I think they're going for 2 here, Bob. They may be going for 2 here. Well, it's a good call because if it doesn't work, they still could go for 2 if they score again and still tie the game.
So Belisario is on the kick.
Well, no, he's not on the kick.
I thought you
No, they're going for 2, I said. They're going for 2. Here goes Graham. He's got it. 15 points. Now we got a ball game. 21 to 15. And don't you dare go away. We'll be back right after this.
Touchdown pass to Jason Kappa has given the Raiders their 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and Graham up the middle for 2 points has made this one, folks, a 21 to 15 game. Exciting from Riverside Park, and it has put new life in them. Joe, you keep looking at that one play that Lockett was trapped in the backfield. He escaped, and he ran 72 yards for the touchdown. Shouldn't have been. Right now, the Raiders would be up 15-14.
I couldn't agree with you more, Ben. Well, of course, if we replay that scenario, Bob, I don't think they would have went for 2. They'd have went for the tie. It would have been 14.
It would be going to overtime.
You don't mind that, do you?
No, not at all.
All right, here we go. A squibbler. And it's going to be picked up by one of the front men. And that is number 2. That's Brian Payne. He's going to be stopped. Let's see where they spot the ball. About the 37 to 38-yard line. Well, it's going to be a defensive effort here for the Raiders to get the ball back. 8:14 left in the ball game. Jefferson Morgan, 21. The Raiders, 15. Well, I'll tell you what, you got to give the Raiders credit, though, Bob. Win or lose, they have never quit for a minute. They have been down the entire ball game. Here we go. Wetzel is going to be hit and dropped at the 40. Oh, Justin Graham came up quickly. Let's see who was down underneath that pile.
Graham was the guy that made the hit. He had some help, but Graham was the principal tackler on that play.
Joe, I know everybody thinks they're going to run out the clock, but I think they got a pass play cooked up here on second down. I really do. I think this...
Well, it's second down and a long 8. Second and 8. Wetzel is ready. Wetzel barking signal. Wetzel hands off, and they give it to McCourt off the right side. He's got a first down and more. Much more. Goes all the way down to the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Boy, what a runner he is. He looks as though he is to Jefferson Morgan what Dapra is to the Raiders. First and 10. Jefferson Morgan just outside the Raiders' 40-yard line. Clock is moving. 7 minutes remaining in the ball game. Have they lost the ball yet today, Bob? Huh? I'll tell you what, this would be a perfect time for a fumble.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those yet.
Right. Any kind of a... Here we go. There's a pitch back around the right side. Oh, what a play. What a play by Walsh. Rich Walsh. They'll lose about 4. 3 for sure. All right, let's call it second and 13. Second down, 13 yards to go. Jefferson Morgan with the ball at the Raider 44-yard line, 21-15. Jefferson Morgan in the lead. Wetzel ready. They send a man in motion. That is McDaniel. They hand it off to McCourt, and there he goes again. And he's close to the first down, stopped by Belisario and Dapra. But I believe he's going to have the first down. He does. Oh, that's a big, big first down there, let me tell you. We're inside 6 minutes remaining in the game. As big.
He's got to have 200 yards.
Oh, he's got a ton of yards. I'll tell you, he has been really outstanding. There he goes again. And he's going to pick up 5. Looks as though they had him trapped in the backfield. Belisario was there. Walsh also there. Dujak also helping out. It's going to be a gain of 5 yards. Just when you think you've got him stopped, he picks up 5. Ball is at the 25-yard line. Second down. We're approaching 5 minutes remaining. Second down and 5. The ball at the 25-yard line. Wetzel, pitch back. There goes McCourt again. This time he is grabbed. Who was it? Number 14, Jeff Kappa. Jeff Kappa did a number. Facoris also there, but Kappa was the guy that really did the number, and it's going to be a loss of a couple. So it'll be third down and a long 6. 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. Everybody split. Lone setback. Wide on both sides. They send the man in motion. Wetzel. Long count. Over the middle. Incomplete. They were looking for big Nathan Hassett. Now what do you do? I don't think they're gonna punt from the 25. They're gonna probably try again.
We need one of those patented interceptions is what we need.
Right. Of course, the one good thing about that play, not only was it an incomplete pass, but it stopped the clock at 4:12, and I think Jefferson Morgan is going to take a timeout. We will too. We'll be back right after this.
21-15 in favor of Jefferson Morgan. Time running out of the ball game, and the Rockets have the ball. 4:12 left in the game. And for the Raiders, 1994 season, they got to salvage it by stopping him here, too.
Well, this could be the season right here for the Raiders, Bob. If they stop them on 4th down, they're only a touchdown behind. If they don't stop them, well, the clock could run out on them before this thing's over. Here we go. Wetzel back. He's going to throw. Wetzel looking. Oh, could you believe they got a man in the open for the touchdown, and that is number 24, Mike McCourt. And, brother, I'll tell you what, you got to give them all the credit in the world. They just tried a pass play that if it works, it's going to score. And if it doesn't work, they're going to turn the ball over. And would you believe a 27-yard touchdown pass from Wetzel to Mike McCourt. And maybe it might be, well, about all she wrote here, 27 to 15. Oh, brother. It's up, and it's good. 28 to 15. Jefferson Morgan answers twice. Following the touchdown by Riverview, Jefferson Morgan came right back and answered those touchdowns with one of their own, leading 28 to 15.
Recapping scoring today, Jefferson Morgan with only 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It was McCourt on the 36-yard run, the first of his 2 touchdowns this afternoon. Kick after made it a 7-0 contest in the second quarter with only 2.5 minutes to play. Hassett, Nathan Hassett took in a 60-yard pass, and with a kick, it made it 14-0. Kappa came up with a 6-yard run. Late in the third quarter, it was 14-7. Lockett answered in the next series with a 72-yard run for the Rockets, 21-7. Kappa to Kappa on a pass at 8:19 of the fourth quarter. A 2-point extra conversion run by Justin Graham. It's 21-15, and right now McCourt on a 26-yard pass play from Wetzel, 28-15 after the kick. Goodness gracious.
Oh, brother. Here we go. Excuse me. Brinzak picks it up. Still on his feet. He's going to be dropped at about the 42-yard line. Just when you think that maybe you got a shot at getting the ball back to maybe win the ball game, McCourt, 21 rushes for 169 yards, and he caught a touchdown pass for 26 yards just moments ago. So he is approaching the 200-yard mark, run and pass, and the receiving. And I'll tell you what, that's quite an afternoon for that young man. Oh. Well, 3:45 left. Stranger things have happened. It's caught by Jason Kappa. And do they give him forward progress, and where do they put it? At about the 50-yard line. It's a gain of about 7 yards. The clock did, no out-of-bounds play. Lockett made the stop. The clock continues to move. Second down. And about 3, between 2 and 3 yards. Kappa once again, ready to go. And there is a draw. Daper still driving. Daper down to about the 37-yard line. Stopped over there by Brian Bain. First down. 2:55. The Raiders still have all their their timeouts, I believe. If they can get a score here in the next minute or so, they might still have a shot. Going long. Daper's out there. Oh, he just overthrew him. He just barely overthrew him. And he, well, pulled that one in a little closer. We could have had 6 with Daper. Daper had beaten the defenders. But it's going to bring up a second down.
Second down and 10 for Riverview.
And 10. The clock stops with 2:39.
Ball on the 37.
Boy, I'll tell you, In these football games, in these playoffs, you never know. Here is Kappa looking. Kappa throwing. Kappa incomplete. Intended for number 30, Justin Graham. But it was incomplete on the coverage, Brian Bain. So this will bring up a third down. 2:34 remaining in the game.
We'll remind everybody that the portion of the game today brought to you by Integra Banks, where you can get the loans you need for times like these. Integra Bank.
All right, ready to go. And here is Dapra on the draw. Dapra breaks. Ooh, had he been able to break that tackle, he might have still been running. But coming up to make the stop was that man again, number 24, Mike McCourt. And boy, as he had himself a ball game.
This is it right here, 4th down.
4th down. And we're looking at about 7 yards. 4th and about 7. Ball just inside the 35. Kappa looking. Kappa looking. Kappa throwing. He's got him. Oh, Earl Jack still going. Still going. He's into the end zone, touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Earl Jack leaped, took it, ran all the way for the touchdown, and we've got a ball game. We've got a ball game. They'll kick this one, Bob, for sure. Make it 28-22. Tell you what, if you want some excitement and a thriller right down to the final minute, you got it right here, my friend.
Minute and 49 to play.
28-21. There's a kick. It's up. Oh, my goodness, is it good. 28-22. And I think, Bob, unless I'm mistaken, I think the Raiders have all their timeouts. They do. If that be the case, all they got to do is get their hands on the ball one more time. Anything can happen. And it usually does. We'll be back. No, we're going to keep it right here? All right.
You're watching high school football on Comcast Cablevision.
Well, now what do you do, Bob? Onside kick?
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
28-21. 22.
28-22.
All right, Pam. By the way, happy birthday to Pam Galbraith, our character generator operator.
Happy birthday, Pam. Well, they got the they got one guy deep, Bob. They don't think for a minute that this is going to be a long kick. That's a good spot, I'll tell you, just in case. Well, they've got time, Bob, simply because they've got 3 timeouts. They've got 3 timeouts, so anything can happen. They'll punt the ball at the 31-yard line. All right, here we go. The final minute, 46 seconds. With every stop now, the Raiders will call a timeout, I'm sure. And here's a pitch back, and there's that man McCourt. This time they gang tackle him, and he may have gotten a yard at most, and a timeout quickly called by the Raiders. A minute 35 left. Oh, brother. This going right down to the wire, Bob.
Love it, love it, love it.
Dujak led the charge, and
I got to tell you something.
10 of his friends showed up on that play.
The coach walking into the huddle. I mean, folks, it's got to be about 50 degrees out there or less. This guy's out there in short sleeves. Looks like Artie Donovan. Of Rizzardi had his own way of keeping warm, huh?
Right.
Hey, we want to thank all of the sponsors from the Oakmont and Verona area and elsewhere who helped to make the telecast possible here today. And as you're watching the ball game and you kind of make some mental notes as to who these fine people were, please remember to patronize their places of business, because without them, this telecast would have never gotten off the ground. And we also want to thank Jake Kappa and his athletic department, the Gridiron Club. What a nice job they've done, and they're assisting us as well. So Jake and the guys, good season. We hope it ends positively, but we got some work to do.
All right, here we go. Second down and 9. Right, there's that play again. That's the same play that's worked the entire ball game. Almost fumbled the ball, but then he put the other hand on it and held it, and they get the first down. That play has worked the entire game, Bob. Boy, delay handoff, and it goes through for about 15 or 16 yards. They get the first down.
And we still don't have that turnover we're looking for.
There's the second timeout for the Raiders. Minute 27 left. Well, I'll tell you. Looked as though the Raiders might get their hands on the football one more time, but they didn't do it. As McCourt, and I'll tell you, Bob, what a game he has played. Well over 200 yards on the ground, and I think he only caught one pass.
What was the stat for Burrow last night you were looking for? Did we obtain that or not? He was going to run for Daper, it was? Yeah, Daper needed 150 yards today to do a mile.
How many does he have?
Daper's got over 100 yards today.
Daper in unofficially with 116 yards, which is normally enough to win ball games.
Cross your fingers, people. We need a turnover.
How about a fumble? Yeah, McCourt holds on to it with two hands and gained absolutely nothing that time. But Karras, also there to help out, was Justin Papa, and the Raiders take another timeout. So that'll be their last, I believe. Last timeout for the Raiders, where there's a minute 16 left. And Bob, honestly, I never for a moment thought that the season would end here.
I didn't either. If anything, you'd look for week number 2 or maybe 3, if then.
I honestly felt that the Raiders, with the #1 seed in the Class A division, was going to wind up at Three Rivers for playing for the championship. But I'll tell you, I just don't know how this Jefferson Morgan team lost 3 games, Bob. They look super.
And it just pointed out to us that the #2 seed's going down the drain too, and that's Menneson.
Yeah, they were losing 21-0. So there you are. That's what it's all about, friends. Well, here we go.
No timeouts left.
No timeouts left. There's only a minute 16 remaining, and I think he'll just hold on to the ball here. There's that same play again, Bob. There goes McCourt. That's that same play. Delayed reverse, and they have not been able to stop it the entire game. And what do? Run him out of bounds where?
At the 3 or 4.
At about the 3 or 4 yard line. Oh, my goodness.
So this guy here, McCourt, has got to have 300 yards. What's he have? 234 yards, this guy. After that run right there.
You mean total?
Yeah.
Or just running?
Just running.
And
260 with that pass.
Right. Oh, brother. Well, and you know what? I think of the 230-some yards that he gained on the ground, about 200 of it came on that same play. Came on the same play.
Fumble.
They did fumble.
And the Raiders have it.
How about this? Oh, brother.
There's a minute to play.
What are they running the clock for? Why did they run the clock? I think they lost about 3 or 4 seconds here, Bob. But anyway, we got the ball. Well, here we go. 58 seconds showing on the clock. And it's moving now.
That's their only turnover.
Well, let's hope it costs them. Look out! Oh! Come on! You'll never believe it, my friend. You will never believe. You will never believe what we have. This place is going crazy.
And there are no flags.
And no flags.
And we have tied the game.
And would you believe, from Jeff Kappa to Ertlejack,
it was perfect.
With a touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
We are tied at 28. Joe, don't fall over.
Well, no.
Please.
You will never believe what has happened here at Riverside Park in Oakmont. With 50, well, it was exactly 1 minute remaining. Jefferson Morgan had the ball at the 4-yard line of the Raiders. The only thing that could save us was the fumble which occurred and then a long pass which also occurred. Oh, brother.
And a touchdown we needed, and that occurred.
Well, now here, there was a penalty.
Celebration penalty.
Can you believe this?
I wouldn't have the guts to call it. That's what we just said. I wouldn't have the guts to call it.
All the way back, and Belisario is going to kick this from the 25. It'll be a 35-yard extra point. Snap, the kick is up, and the kick is off to the left. Oh, brother.
Now we may go overtime.
Well, I'll tell you what. I just can't believe. I can't believe what's happened.
Jake Kappa talking to one of the officials.
I am absolutely speechless because of that penalty, Bob. Because of that penalty. I'll tell you what, that's Bush League.
I wouldn't have.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not in the rules. I'm not saying it's not in the rules, but to make a comeback like they did and to celebrate and then be hit with a 15-yard penalty for the extra point that could win you the ball game, I'll tell you what, that's Bush. That's Bush. And again, it's not that it's not in the book. I'm sure it is. But I wouldn't have the guts to call it.
Let me tell you, folks, what will happen if we go overtime, and we'll do that when the last 36 seconds
Of course, you
have ticked
never
off.
know. Anything can happen. It's already happened. Well, they pick it up at about the 35 and running back to the 41. There's 31 seconds left. Anything can happen. It probably will.
My goodness gracious.
I cannot believe that the Raiders are going to be deprived of probably one of the greatest comebacks that I've ever seen because the youngsters were celebrating after a 96-yard pass play that tied the game, and they forced them back 15 yards for an extra point try because of the celebration rule. Unbelievable.
We need an interception. Penalty flag. Oh, Kappa went after him.
Oh, boy.
And so did
number 74.
Justin Kappa.
It's going to go against Jefferson Morgan. That's going against Jefferson Morgan. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to mean too much. Time for one more play, then we'll go into overtime. Bob, did you happen to get a chance to run down what's going to happen in that overtime?
I said after the 36 seconds because there will be a 3-minute interval.
All right,
we have plenty of time to go.
We can extend the set time. I probably won't be able to talk then, so I don't mind losing. I'll trade my voice for a victory anytime.
Can you imagine that? That call was Bush. And that's it.
Well, that's it.
We'll explain what's going to happen, folks. We will explain what will happen.
Well, I guess the clock shows no more time left.
Here's what happens. We will have a 3-minute intermission.
No, I don't think, Bob. I think they have one more play left. I think Jefferson Morgan called a timeout. The clock should have stopped with 3 seconds left.
All right. Well, while we have the timeout, let's talk about the possibility of an overtime. We will have a 3-minute intermission to allow the coaches and the players to talk. The officials will assemble at the 50-yard line to review the procedure. A coin toss will be held. The visiting captain will make the choice. The winner of the toss may elect offense or defense. The other captain will determine which end of the field will be used. Both teams will use the same end when they run their plays. The ball will be put in play at the 10-yard line. Both teams have 4 downs to score unless a loss of possession or a score occurs. A try-for-point will be permitted if a touchdown is scored. A loss of possession will give the defense the ball on the 10-yard line. If the defense gains possession, the down in the series for the offense will end immediately, and the defense will put the ball in play at the 10-yard line. There will be no team timeouts granted. However, an official's timeout will be permitted. The team scoring the greater number of points in the overtime will be the winner. If a tie persists after both teams have had their first opportunity to score, this whole process will be repeated.
And I think after all of that, Bob, the important thing that maybe we ought to mention one more time is the fact that the overtime will not be sudden death.
Right. Each team will have an opportunity from the 10-yard line.
This is the last play of regulation. 3 seconds left. And I think maybe they're just going to sit on the ball here. They do.
So what was the purpose of the timeout?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'd hate to be those officials to think that the Raiders, coming back the way they did, are going to maybe possibly be deprived of a victory because of a Bush League call. It's in the rules. This really is not the official's fault in a way because the rule is there. It's just that they should never have called it. You know, what do they say, Bob? The best call was a no call. That's what should have happened.
Jefferson Morgan scored 7 points in each of the 4 quarters. The Raiders didn't score until the 3rd quarter and then scored 21 points in the finale to tie the game at 28. And then on the celebration penalty,
could have had 20. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, there was a 15-yard penalty, and the extra point attempt by Belisario was just wide to the left, and for that reason, the score remains tied. And then on the ensuing kickoff, we had, I think, 36 seconds to go, and at that point, Jefferson Morgan just ran it out. So you're looking, folks, at the Raider huddle on the near side. That is the #1 seeded team in Class A of the WPIAL across the field of play. The guys in the white and the orange are the Rockets of Jefferson Morgan, who finished second in their division, which was won by Monessen, and today Monessen is getting beat. Fort Cherry did win. Fort Cherry did win, so Monessen, the #2 seed, is done.
In the meantime, Bob, we just checked with Milo here, our statistician, and the Raiders scored 21 points in 7.5 minutes in the 4th quarter. 21 points, and it should have been 22, but the officials took the last point away from them.
And the best play of the game was the tying touchdown, which was the 94 for 95, or maybe it doesn't matter. But the Erdelchak, 90-some yards to tie the game, and then that stupid penalty puts them back. And right now we're in the middle of a 3-minute intermission. Once again, for all of you who helped to sponsor the telecast of the game today, our heartfelt thanks to those merchants, not only in the Oakmont and Verona areas, but other retailers and business people as well, who are from out of the area of Oakmont and Verona. Thank you so much for helping to get this football game on the air on Comcast Cable Channel 3. Should the Raiders come up with a victory, we will say this: we will make every effort to bring up another ball game next weekend right here on Channel 3. So, at this point,
Bob, all I know is that a combination of plays, in order for the Raiders to be in the position they're in right now, two things had to happen. The play was on the 4-yard line with Jefferson Morgan in possession. They could have run out the clock. There were no timeouts left. So two things had to happen. They had to fumble the ball, and then we needed about a 96-yard play, and would you believe they happened? That's why we're in the position that we're in right now in overtime. And the difference here, again, I think might be worth repeating. Not like it is in professional football. This is not sudden death. Both teams will get an opportunity to score, and the team that scores the most in the event that they both score wins the game, and if neither of them score, they do it all over again.
this is going to be a wild place when this one is finally over. Well, here we go now for the toss of the coin. If you're Riverview, you want to give them the first scoring opportunity. You will know whether to go for the kick or the 2-point try, or even a field goal.
Well, I'm sure Coach Kappa already told them what to do.
Erdelchak today, 3 receptions for 140 yards. Fantastic game by Erdelchak. Only a sophomore.
Just a sophomore.
That's what you love to hear. Who was the freshman that played last night for Burrell? Damian Higgins. Yeah. Freshman played Friday night for Burrell and did very well. Riverview, I believe, has won the toss.
I think they did. They tapped them on. They're going to. I think they're going to let Jefferson Morgan go first.
And have deferred.
They're going to defer. They're going to try first, I think.
All right, both teams will have an opportunity to score from the 10. So as an example, if you happen to kick a field goal and you are the first team trying, let's say that you wind up with a 4th and 10, you figure, well, what the heck, let's kick the field goal. Then the other team gets the ball. They have 4 downs from the 10, and if they score the touchdown, it's over. They won't even need the extra point.
Exactly.
But if they kick a field goal, then you repeat the process. So, well, they will go at the 10, so our cameraman will have a field day knowing that all the action will be from the 10-yard line in. And folks, there are no lights at Riverside Park, but this could go on for a while. So Jefferson Morgan, Joe, gets first crack. You want to split the action here?
All right, go ahead.
You want me to handle this?
No, you've
had all the luck with Riverview.
You take Jefferson Morgan,
all right,
and I'll take...
I don't want him, but I'll do him.
All right.
All right, here's Jefferson Morgan. Let's see what they do. Wetzel is the quarterback. Their bread and butter man has been McCourt. Let's call it about a 3-yard gain. Justin Graham making the play.
Erdl, Jack, and Grimsack.
McDaniel on the carry.
McDaniel carried the football, number 12. So a gain of about 3 on the play. McCourt is the left halfback. McDaniel, the fullback. Lockett, the right half. Lockett gets the call, goes around the left side.
He's not going anywhere.
Lockett is going to be
not going
brought down, knocked out of bounds at about the 4. He made it inside the 5-yard line by Zach Zarymczyk.
Knocked him out of bounds, Zarymczyk.
So they're at the 4. I can tell you one thing, if they don't score, I wouldn't waste any time. I'd go for 3.
Oh, they probably will.
I think a couple in the booth would agree with me.
Well, no, it looked, I mean, from the extra points, it looked as though they have a pretty good kicker there, so why not try it?
It is now 3rd from about the 4.5-yard line. They dropped it in the backfield. They got it behind the line, and the big play made by Theo Fakeras. Theo Fakeras stuck him.
Big number 74 also there, Bob. Justin Papa. Now what do we do?
4th down, they're at the 6. 4th down and 6. This is it, the final chance.
What are they going to do? Look. Bob, they're not going
for 3, no. Got a lot of people crowding around the end zone, man in motion. They're going to throw the football.
There he goes.
Well,
oh boy,
they got him sacked.
I'll tell you what, Bob. I hope that the Raiders win it right here, because this would be a beautiful ending to the first round game. Dujak has probably been as good a defensive player as we've seen all year. He made the play of the year right there.
All right, Riverview gets 4 tries.
They get 4 tries like the other team did.
Here we go, Joe. It's your 4 down.
All right, here we go. There goes Dapra. He's going to be stopped just inside the 10-yard line. And Lockett, Xavier Lockett, he's played a tremendous defensive game for Jefferson Morgan. This is probably the only time in my life, Bob, that I can honestly say I didn't mind losing my voice. If we can win it.
Oh, brother.
Here we go again. Kappa. Looking. Kappa pitches it back to Dapra. Dapra on the outside. He's not going anywhere either. He's going to be dropped at the 10-yard line. Well, this time they got to, they're going to put her over on the yard marker on the far side.
So it's now
10-yard line, Bob. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't do anything except just take the ball, run it to your right about 10 yards, right in the middle of the goalpost, and let Belisario handle it from there. What are they doing? What are they doing? Run to the right. That's it. Oh, no, no. Oh, what a catch. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. Jason Kappa on a banded grab.
On a busted play.
You'll never believe it, my friend. One good thing about this, they can't penalize him down there now for celebrating.
It's over.
It's over, baby. It is over.
Riverview wins the ball game. The final score of 34-28. Would you believe it? And just in case you missed the final minutes of the 4th quarter, Jefferson Morgan drove all the way down to the Raiders' 4 or 5 yard line. And on the very next play, they fumbled the football. The Raiders on the very next play hit Jack with a 95-yard touchdown pass to tie the game. But then, with a celebration penalty assessed against the Raiders, the extra point try was moved back so that the extra point try almost became a long field goal, which was missed. And what happens now is, with 36 seconds to go, they kick off to Jefferson Morgan. Jefferson Morgan could not do anything with the football. Time runs out. We go to overtime. And then Jefferson Morgan, the Raiders win the toss of the coin. They give Jefferson Morgan first chance. They fail to score. Big defensive play by the Raiders. Who was it that made that? Dujak made the sack on the quarterback on 4th down. And then the Raiders get their 4 downs. Was it 3rd down? Or 3rd down from the 10. And it was a one-handed catch by Jason Kappa that got the Raiders their 6 points and a victory at Riverside Park, ladies and gentlemen, at almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the Raiders win it. Thank you for joining us on this great day at Riverside Park. We'll be back with the next Raiders playoff game next weekend, hopefully, and hope that you'll be a part of it. For Joe Falsetti and our statistician Mike Pavlik, I'm Bob Tattern. Again, thanking you for joining us. And again, that final was Riverview 34 and Jefferson Morgan 28.